Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host for today's broadcast, Insane Layer 13, and I'm being joined by XRL Jigsaw as we are preparing to get underway for the third race for this truncated season for XRL's X2 series here on F1 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, we could be looking forward to another fantastic event today, and just to kind of hype you up to the kind of scenario that we could be looking at today, Jigsaw, go ahead. Tell us about your race earlier today in X3. What a tremendous run that you had there real quickly. Go ahead and brag for a bit.
Thank you. Strategy today is looking at a potential one-stop medium soft, which is what I tried, but ultimately failed at. The other strategy is like a medium soft, or a medium soft, or a medium hard.
Alright, well, you may have failed with the initial attempt on the strategy, but you still bounced back with a victory, more than a little bit impressive. It kind of goes to show you, one element of France, while I may not be a big fan of this circuit, one element of this circuit is that there's plenty of runoff. You can afford to make a mistake or get caught in a mistake. You could still come back. There's not a whole lot of walls to hit here.
No, there isn't. I mean, if you spin out, then you're more than likely going to not DNF. You've got to be unlucky to DNF here. So that means kind of safety cars. There's probably not going to be many of them.
Yeah, only one safety car and then a VSC in the X3 race earlier today. And again, I think you were in that race a few weeks back in the Realistic Series, 100% length race,
Yeah.
No safety cars, and only a brief half-lap VSC. So, yeah, if you're going to have a race without safety cars, this is likely to be it. But that also leads into significant issues. Because Sector 1 is very start and go, stop and starty, very Mickey Mouse-like, you take any sort of damage early on from just trying to navigate through traffic on the first lap, you have to pit early on, you could be put in a bad hole for the rest of the race, easily.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you got damaged first lap, then you're guaranteed a 2-stop, which may mess you up for the rest of the race.
Alright, so as it stands right now, there are 16 drivers here. We are expecting that one more person might join, but as it stands now, 16 people, so only one person will not advance to the next round.
It was XRL Young that was potentially going to join in qualifying, but he's joined beforehand, so he's in now. So this is everyone for the race.
And the first driver to be coming down pit lane, by the looks of it, is going to be one of the Aston Martins. That will be XRL Ozda. Ozda put together a pretty solid run yesterday in the Realistic race, now trying to put together a good run here in the X2 race in France. First out on the circuit by a massive margin. No one else has even come close onto the pit lane. Well, as I say that, now I'm seeing a Mercedes about to come onto the track. That would be Franz W31, who is coming out now, and he will be joined by the Ferrari of Chubby Spark, and now here comes the McLaren. That would be Fizzy 1258. So now we're starting to see people, normally flow onto the racetrack to try and get something going here.
Yeah, there's an 18% chance of rain in qualifying and 16% chance of rain in the race. So just under a 1 in 5. Oh, let's have a look at the standings, actually, while people are on their outlaps.
Might not be a horrible idea at the moment.
Yeah,
real quickly, looking at it, starting with the manufacturer's standings as they are right now. From the bottom to the top, Alpine still has yet to earn any points this season. XRL Torpedo is in the Alpine machine, though. I would not be surprised if he was able to pull something out with it, though. Alfa Romeo, 2 points thus far in the season. Williams in 8th. They have 11 points. Mercedes is 7th with 12 points. 6th is AlphaTauri with 18. 5th is Aston Martin with 19. 4th, Red Bull with 20. 3rd, Haas with 24. 2nd, McLaren with 41. Leading the championship in the manufacturers by a respectable margin, Ferrari, 61 points right now. Ozda now begins his flying lap. We're going to go ahead real quickly look at the Drivers' Championship as it is right now. 16th is RTM English. He has earned a single point thus far. 15th, XRL Precare has earned 2 points. 3 points for XRL Zola. 4 points for XRL Ozda. He's 13th. V8 Irons is 12th with 7 points. Franz W31 is 11th with 9 points. There's a tie for 9th in the standings right now with XRL Torpedo and TR Foreman having 10 each. There's also a tie for 7th. XRL Yun and BTEC 11 both have 12 points each. Mr. Neon is 6th with 13 points. Jabus Dawn 5th with 15. There's a tie for 3rd. PPR Vim and Fizzy 1258 both have 18 points. 2nd, Harry has exactly 23 points. Your current points leader, though, Shelby Spark, 51 points already. We're only 2 races in. He has over a full race lead in the points. Outstanding start to the season for a defending X3A champion.
Yeah, and Asda in Sector 3 here, hoping to set the pace with his first lap of qualifying. Only one person's going to leave us, so don't have to do much to get through, but could be close down there.
But of course, with all this excess runoff, we see a lot of times before where you only have 16 people show up for Q1. You know, someone crashes out early on and kind of eliminates itself early on. Not likely to happen here, though. There's the barrier that everyone's going to be chasing, 130.002. But with all the runoff, I don't think we're going to see anyone crashing out and qualifying. I think we're going to see 16 people on the track for most of the session. We'll probably see about the top 5 or 6 retire early on, but other than that, there's going to be a lot of action near the very end just to try and make it in. Franz in the Mercedes, 130.261. Fizzy is another 210 soft with a .461 at the moment. Next car to cross the line is going to be Harry as he starts a lap. And Shelby Spark in the Ferrari has invalidated this lap, so he has to circle around again. Same with B-Tech Jalebin. So the focus ends up going to XRL Pelly in the Alpine.
Yeah, just coming up to the final couple of corners is XRL Pelly. Wants to get on the power as soon as possible after the final corner. And he will set a 130.008, only 6 thousandths behind XRL Asda.
So that's looking very good for them. V8 Irons coming up to the line to start his flying lap. So is TIR Foreman. So that means the next person to get a lap in is going to be... Well, actually, Ozza's coming back around. Is he going to stay out? No, he's coming in. Low on fuel, so he's going to come in. So, yeah, I think you're right. It's Harry by the looks of it.
Yeah, because Zola's on an outlap. Oh, well. He's way back there. Sorry, I got them with the Ferrari drivers. But Harry then in Sector 3.
His teammate is 4th fastest with a 30.461. What can Harry do in the same equipment? The final corner. Lays on the power, pops up in the DRS, lays on the ERS at the line. It will be a time of 130.407. Very close to his teammate. So we know those two are relatively evenly matched in the same equipment, at least over a single lap pace right now.
Not bad, and Chubby crosses the line with a 130.591. B-Tech Jalebin crosses the line with a 31.5. So Jebus John will be next to cross.
Aston Martin coming to the line right now. The final corner pops up in the DRS, lays on the ERS. It will be a time 130.826 for Jabus Dawn.
Good enough.
Zola coming to the line to start a lap.
Foreman has invalidated. V8's invalidated. Zola's just started a lap.
So what we're going to do, we're going to go silent and ride on board for a full lap on board with this man, the Williams, XRL Torpedo, see what he can do in that Mercedes-powered car for a flyer lap here in Q1 at France. And for Torpedo, it will be a time of 1:30.879. V8 Irons 1:31.810. So already 12 of our 16 drivers have set time. Interesting decision in the McLaren camp. Both of their drivers have already retired, so they're really going hard on saving sets of tires, it would appear.
One lap's enough for them, apparently. While we watching Torpedo, Fletch went third with a 30.021, and Mr. Neon went fifth with a 30.338.
XRL Preacher is on an outlap right now. Good thing he was able to get back to his car after trying to run around and tell everyone that a crazy guy decided to, pop out of a tomb out in the occupied Roman lands of Palestine. So, thanks for making sure we're all aware of that. That honestly was a horrible joke and pun off of his name, but I could not resist.
Happy Easter.
Yeah. Zola has now come back onto the track to begin another outlap. Jalebin also out on track trying to go a little faster. Only the 15 fastest will advance to the next round. No one yet on the bubble, but that will change sooner rather than later, I imagine.
Yeah, I expect so. V8 Irons has invalidated. Torpedo not on another lap, so we'll be going into the pits, not using the ZRS. So I guess...
Ozda and Fletch come into the pits and retire, so they are both very confident with the times that they have set thus far.
So I guess it's Preacher then.
At the end of Sector 1, 22.227. Throws onto the back straightaway.
Full power now. Like Jeremy Clarkson.
200 miles an hour at the end of the straight.
Oh, and he's invalidated.
And invalidates in the Noville chicane.
Went a bit deep into that corner. You can
so that
really
means...
if you want to.
Yeah, but that means that the focus now switches over to XRL Zola, who is about to begin his lap.
And RTM English in the chat thinking that Chubby is sandbagging and that it'll be low 29s or 28s by the end. But that is yet to be seen. As of right now, he's a 30.5, sitting in 8th place. Pelly coming out for another outlap. Not happy with this 30.0.
It's a bold strategy because you're going through extra tires in a session that you really don't need to do it at.
Well, he's got to be careful. If he makes a mistake and he DNFs, then he'll be starting in 16th place or 15th place. Sorry.
Oh, he's not in a McLaren, so I don't think he's going to DNF. Now it's a joke relating to the X3 race. Torpedo now retires in the pit lane, so he's not going to run the risk of damaging the car.
I think it'll be Jaleben next across the line, and then Zola. What time will Jaleb do as he crosses the line? He will go just under half a second quicker, stays in 11th place. And
now Zola will jump up to 13th. I've said this before, Zola is not really a very strong qualifier. He makes up most of his positions in a race based off of better strategy and tire management, and he's almost a god at predicting the weather, although when I've talked to him about that, he just says he basically ignores whatever Jeff says, so think of that what you will.
He's great at defending as well. Like if he's in like 5th or 6th or wherever he is on the track, he'll just defend until he can't anymore, or until his tires die. So that's kind of what
XRO Yun finally coming down pit lane as I'm watching, and now Pelly has retired in the pits, so much for trying to go for another lap, it seems. TIR Foreman coming to the line. He will be the next driver, the 14th, to set a lap, as Preacher and Yun are both out on circuit trying to get laps in now.
I'm wondering how many tires Preacher's used actually. I think I don't know if this is his second or third set of softs.
Foreman with a 31.336. So right now, the drivers that might be at risk of getting squeezed out, I think, would be Zola and Foreman. Of course, we don't know what Preacher and Young could do. For all we know, those two could fail to set laps in this session. That would be embarrassing, but it's
well, you never know.
Possible. Yeah.
Zola and Jello end in the pits, so not many drivers out on track. Preacher just about to start a lap.
That is one kind of nice thing I have, and I've said this before, but I appreciate this in X2. You know, typically the drivers, they go out there to sail lap early on, and if it's good enough, they retire. They don't worry about clogging up the track or clogging up pit lane or anything. They retire early on in Q1 and to a lesser extent Q2. Lets us go from one qualifying session to the next a little faster than what we get normally in X3. And that's one thing I appreciate in this tier.
Yeah, I mean, if drivers are safe, then there's no point doing another lap. You're just wasting tyres and potentially making a mistake in DNFing, and then you're out of qualifying anyway, so there's no point risking it. If, like, for example here, if you're in the top 10, you're more than likely safe, to be fair.
Yeah, it does look like if you're yeah, I think right now, if you're saying times in the 130s, you're probably guaranteed into the next round. Again, only one guy is not going to make it, assuming we don't have a lot of freak DNFs or Preacher and Young are just unable to put a lap together.
If that's the case, then it'll be Young who will be out because he's currently sat in 16th place.
Well, if Preacher can't get a lap in either, I don't think he'll advance. I think we'd only have 14. But I don't think that's going to be an issue because he's still clean as we come into Sector 3 now.
Oh, yellow flag for...
Young has spun.
Young, yeah. Hopefully he's got...
And we don't have a whole lot of time. We don't have a whole lot of time left. I mean, 2.5 minutes. Young's going to have to kind of nurse it around the track and hope that the tires aren't all burned up, but I think Young's only going to have one more shot at this now because of that.
Yeah, one more lap. And then that'll be his qualifying done. Preacher crossing the line. 30.5, good enough for P8. That should see him through to Q2.
So TIR Foreman on the bubble in the Ferrari camp. Young in the Haas, trying to see what he can do to squeeze in.
I mean, Young hasn't invalidated
also, Zola,
so it will be valid, but...
Yeah, but it's going to be way off the pace as well.
Yes,
Zola is out on circuit right now, getting ready, so Zola thinks there's a high risk that he can get squeezed out. I don't think he realized that Foreman is still slower than him, and with 1 minute and 36 seconds left, there's no way that Foreman gets out onto the circuit in time to get another lap in. So I think Zola's safe, regardless of what happens. It's just between Young and Foreman.
Yeah, it's 1 minute 40, 1 minute 30 a lap, so yeah. Zola's through. So it's between Young and Foreman then. All Young needs to do is beat a 31.3 and he will be in Q2.
He lost it last time coming out of Sector 1. A little slower, but keeps it together. He's actually up by 0.08 at the end of Sector 1 that time. Zola's coming in anyway. Zola still wants to put down a faster lap for some reason, and I'm not going to fault him for that.
Innit?
Yeah.
Young, end of Sector 2, he is 8.5 seconds up.
That in itself won't be enough to beat Foreman. He'll need to find a little bit more time in Sector 3 here. His teammate, BTEC Jalebin, is 12th, 131.142. So we know the Haas is, at least moderately competent. Can Young squeeze? Yeah, Dream Machine, my foot.
XRL Young in the Dream Machine then. Coming across the line, kept it clean for 1 lap. Will it be enough?
The answer,
yes,
it is. Foreman's out. Young is in. 131.249. And now we turn our focus to Zola, who is up by 1/4 second at the end of Sector 2.
Zola through to Q2. One set of lap, maybe proving a point.
His teammate Franz is 4th. I think Zola has probably heard me bashing on his qualifying time so much that he wants to prove a point to spite me. And he'll jump well up the order now.
There we are. He ends up in 10th place. It's only one driver leaving us in Q1. It's TIR Foreman. He will be starting in 16th place with a time of 1 minute 31.336. Only 1.3 seconds behind the leader, who is XRL Asda. He set a time of 30.002, so nearly into the 29s. A very strong showing there from Asda, Pelly, Fletch, Franz. All those drivers in the top few places.
Mm-hmm. Top 12 all separated by less than 9/10 of a second, and that could be very interesting going forward.
Yeah, this grid's very close.
Alright, preparing to get underway now for Q2. Really, we're not going to notice a whole lot of change right off the bat in number of cars, but we will definitely notice a change right off the bat when it comes to tires, because already about half the grid are choosing to try and set their first lap on medium compound rubber. One driver who's not doing that, though, XRL Asda, is trying to get on circuit right now with softs. Also, is it just me, or has it gotten even darker now on the track than it was in Q1?
Yeah, it has. It's a bit grim out there. Asda on softs with a bold strategy choice. You're on softs.
Yeah, on our screen it definitely shows you with softs. Like, I'm looking at your car and it has the red sidewalls, so... Well, the word from the Aston Martin camp is that Asda says that he has medium tires on, but we most definitely see red sidewalls.
It's not desynced, has it?
Both Mercedes out onto the circuit, the Ferrari is out on track, as is Fletch in the AlphaTauri. I'll say this, if it starts raining, Asda could be in a decent position because he's the first guy out on track.
Yeah, potentially.
It's weird because when I ride on board with the Aston Martin of Asda, I can see, you know, relatively decent sunlight in the far distance, but like on the track itself, it feels like a heavy shadow has been cast over it. So it's just one of those strange scenarios. Now again, heavier shadow means that the track is colder. Colder track means that it takes a lot longer to get the tires up to proper operating temperature, and it's a little bit harder to keep them there in some scenarios. So sometimes in that kind of scenario, medium tires will be a little bit better off than softs. Not saying automatically they will be, but sometimes that ends up being the situation. So about half the field out onto the circuit right now. 22.539 for Asda at the end of Sector 1. As he now throws the Aston Martin onto the back straightaway, opens up the DRS, lays on the ERS down the straight. I've not asked your opinion on this. I am a little bit curious, because we are in Q2. As we know, in Q2, in this game and in 2021 and before, Q2 is where the top 10 drivers decide what tires are going to start the race on. That's not a thing anymore. That will be removed when the next game comes out, and we already see that's no longer a factor in F1 right now. Now, everyone runs Q1, Q2, Q3 on whatever set of tires they want, and they start on whatever set of tires they want. Do you think it's a good change or a bad change?
I mean, it takes out a bit.
Say that again? You cut out on me. Oh dear, I think we may have lost him. Well, Asda sets the time that everyone's going to be going for with a 130.845. Jigsaw, are you there?
apparently my headset didn't want me to answer that question.
Well, try answering it now to spite your headset.
Yeah, well, it's on charge now, so it should be okay. It takes away the strategy, doesn't it, of qualifying of Q2, but I think it's going to be easier for us in the next game, whenever that may come out, in real life F1. It means that it's all down to the race, isn't it? I mean, drivers can choose to start mediums or softs, it's up to them. Obviously, we know softs are quicker, mediums slower, but I mean, with less fuel in the car, with more fuel in the car, maybe softs would be a better option. So I mean, it opens up some new options for the drivers.
This has always been my idea, at least. I like the idea, but my idea would have been slightly modified. The tires that you set your fastest lap in Q1, those are tires you have to start on, and that would be the way it is for the entire grid.
That's not a bad option, actually. So no matter where you finish, you have to start on those tires. Or no matter where you start, sorry.
The only exception, obviously, is if, you know, you go out in a crash or the tires are flat spotted and damaged, in which case I would say you have to automatically start the rear of the grid. But, yeah. That's my idea, at least. But, am I going to say that would be the perfect idea ever? Not necessarily, but that's just the one that I have.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, there's lots of options they could choose. But in this game, the top 10 have to choose their tyres, and I think mediums would be the better option on this track.
I heard some people talk about going hard soft or soft hard on tire strategy as well.
Yeah, medium hard, soft hard could work. Torpedo goes third with a... Oh, Franz has just gone quickest with a 30.7. Torpedo in fourth with a 31.5.
Mr. Neon in the middle of a lap right now, as is XRL Pelli in the Alpine. That Alpine's rounding Sector 3.
Yeah, he'll be next to cross the line.
We see a McLaren crossing the line. That will be Fizzy, who is starting his lap now.
Pelli will set a 130.1 on mediums.
That's the second fastest of everyone on the medium rubber thus far. Now we see Javis John. He is coming to the line right now. He invalidated his first lap. This lap a little lower on fuel, 131.509. That's fifth best right now. Chubby's invalidated this lap, but he's already aware of that. He's backed way off and is just trying to save fuel and build that ERS all the way up.
Yeah, Neon will be next. Oh, now it says as the settest time on mediums. Fair enough. I think it was just the game being silly. Oh, that's Mr. Neon spinning around. Getting back on track. He's all right. He hasn't got any damage, but that's
and
his
the lap
ruined.
is still technically legal, but obviously it's now not going to be competitive whatsoever.
Yeah, of course. Next set of lap then. I mean, he'll be the next. I mean, it'll be the next set of lap, but it probably won't be a great lap.
Yeah, Fizzy is the real next person that we're going to be watching in the McLaren.
And he sets off 50.7, doesn't he? On, obviously.
Across the line for the McLaren, 130.904. That's good enough for fourth, again, on the medium rubber. So, unlike what we saw in X3 here, a lot of people committing to mediums irregardless of what happens.
Yeah, I mean, mediums are the best tyre to get on at the start of the race, just because they last longer and they're a bit more stable, I think. Chubby.
Clean track ahead for the Ferrari on the medium compound. Also, again, I said this earlier at the start of this session, you know, the darker track, it's going to be a lot harder to keep the softs in the proper operating temperature because the track will be so much cooler. The mediums might have a small hand up. Not necessarily being faster than the softs, but just being easier to extract more performance out of the mediums than out of the softs in this scenario.
Yeah, and we see
Very nice time by Chubby.
Yeah, less than a tenth between him and Franz.
And Franz did his on softs as well, so Chubby right now, fastest of everyone on the medium rubber. So very nicely done.
Good stuff. Oh, yellow flag. That's just someone letting someone else past.
Here comes Zola to the line out of the final corner. Low on fuel, so this is going to be it. What can he put down with that Mercedes? Young goes 31.846 on softs. Zola 132.121 on mediums. V8 Irons coming through Sector 3 right now in the Red Bull. His teammate, Mr. Neon, was not able to put a very competitive time down and invalidated the following lap. So Irons going to try and give us a better idea as to what the actual potential is for that car. And Shelby had an instant there in the Montreal chicane. He's back underway now, but an incident all by himself. That's not going to help him out. Irons, 131.116. That's second fastest of everyone with the soft tires thus far.
Harry and Preacher are going to set their times very close to each other, so keep an eye on both of those. The only two drivers yet to set a time, actually.
Yeah, as it stands right now, XRO Yun is on the bubble. Zola, BTEC Jalebin, and Mr. Neon all on the outside looking in. Preacher and Harry really looking to throw a monkey wrench into this plan.
Harry will be first, and then he'll be closely followed by Preacher, so let's see what time they can do.
Harry to the top on the mediums, 130.631. Preacher 7th, 130.947. So with that, Jameis John now on the bubble. No, I take that out. BTEC Jalebin's now jumped ahead of him into 10th. And this will be where things start getting interesting because the likes of John, Torpedo, Zola, and Neon, if they think that track position is more important than tire choice, they're going to get off their softs and jump on, get off the mediums and jump on the softs. Now, Irons goes up to 10th, 131.116.
Yeah, Neon's just set a time, putting him into 8th with a 31.006. V8 Irons with 31.116, like you just said. So, Jalebin, Jameis John, Torpedo, Young, and Zola all outside the top 10.
And the fuel light's flashing pretty aggressively on Jalebin's car right now.
Yeah, he's running.
He's down on time. He'll be coming in. Yeah, he's got to be coming in. Sure.
He hasn't got enough ERS anyway. Same as Preacher, I think. So Harry as well.
I think we're looking at a similar scenario as in the last session. If you're saying a time in the 130s, I think you're safe. So about everyone from Preacher on up, I think will be good and will make it in. I think it's Neon, Pelly, and Irons who are the most likely to end up getting squeezed out here. Jalebin very nearly misses the pit lane entry there. That was a little tight.
Yeah, a little bit too close for comfort for him. Franz is on the now.
Neon
wants to start.
Neon has Neon has completely run out of fuel. He is coasting around the circuit right now, just trying to creep to the pit lane.
Yeah, no one around him. He's fine. Franz set his first time on softs. He's now out on mediums.
Jalebin retires in the pits, and Pelly, on his outlap, has had an accident, and the entire front wing is knocked off the Alpine.
Dear. Torpedo is out of the session in 13th. He's retired.
So I have to wonder if those drivers think that would just be better to, not burn through extra tires. They'll take the hit and track position if it means they have more tires available.
Yeah, or it's they want to start on mediums. They'd rather not get through on softs, and because there really isn't that much difference between like 11th, 12th, 13th, and like 10th.
True. In fact, I've seen some scenarios where starting 11th is better than starting 10th because you're dealing with all the exact same things, but in 11th you have better tires by default than the person in 10th.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I think. That's why Jalebin and Torpedo both retired from the session. They're happy where they are.
Right now, we only have a pair of Mercedes on track. Zola, who is 15th right now, and Franz, who is 2nd. Franz, I guess, is out there glory hunting right now.
Young retired in 14th, so he wants to start on fresh tires. Franz looking to
he is on mediums now, actually. That's interesting. Franz is on mediums, so he's trying to set a time faster on the mediums than what he did on the softs. That's a tall order, but if he can make it work, that would serve him very well in the race itself.
Yeah, I mean, the track's a little bit more rubbered in than it was at the start of Q2, so he's got a chance, but it's going to be tight. Oh, he goes quickest with a 30.2.
Alright, so it looks like medium tires are absolutely the way to go. Irons is the only person in the top 10 who has softs on their fastest lap thus far.
And he's now out on mediums, trying to beat that on an out lap. So Zola going to cross the line now to start his lap. He is on soft
More or
tires,
less.
Zola.
Yeah, Zola, I think, is just kind of throwing everything at the wall to try and make it into the next round. The gap between 10th and 15th right now is a second, and then 5 thousandths of another second. Zola is... I've talked trash about Zola's qualifying pace before, but he is not that bad at qualifying. He's not a full minute off, no. Maybe if we were running Nürburgring.
Maybe.
And when I say Nürburgring, I'm not talking Nürburgring GP, I'm talking the full Nordschleife.
Can you imagine if F1 did a race at the Nordschleife?
I honestly think it would be really, really stupid, but at the same time, if they made the entire back straightaway at the Nordschleife just one gigantic DRS zone, can you imagine how crazy that would be?
Oh, 100%. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And Zola's half
But
a
no.
second up.
Time's up in the session as well. Irons out trying to go faster to defend his 10th place position. Zola in 15th trying to squeeze his way in at the last moment. As Franz has come into the pits, obviously. No need to put more wear on that set of rubber.
Of course. Sector 3 is Zola.
Honestly, I'd be more interested, instead of modern F1 at Nordschleife, I'd like to see like a exhibition with 2 cars from the same team doing an exhibition at Le Mans as it is now, with the 3 straights at Mulsanne. There we are, Zola third, 130.801. So Irons is out for the moment, but will he stay out?
Irons on mediums trying to beat his 131.1 time from before. If he can, that'll push Pelly down.
But as I was saying, I would just be interested to see 2 cars doing DRS, using DRS at Le Mans, put DRS zones on the 3 straightaways that make up the Mulsanne straight, and then on the straight right after the Mulsanne corner. So you have 4 DRS zones in a row. And I say 2 cars on the same team so they can kind of get draft off of each other to really showcase what they can do. Just kind of like a proof of concept kind of scenario, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that could be cool. V8 Irons slowed down right at the end there. I don't know what he was planning. So I don't think he made it through. He just broke on just before the line, so...
Yeah.
He thought, you know what?
Well, that means he will not advance. Yeah. But that means, in the end, only one driver in the top 10 will be starting on the softs. That will be XRL Zola. Franz, W31, the Mercedes on top. Harry, second, the McLaren. Zola, third in the other Mercedes. Shelby, fourth in the Ferrari. Fifth is Zaza in the Aston Martin. Sixth is Fletch in the AlphaTauri. Seventh is Fizzy in the McLaren. Eighth is XRL Preacher in the Alfa Romeo. Ninth, Mr. Neon with the Red Bull. And 10th is XRL Pelly in the Alpine. So, great job on both McLaren and Mercedes to get both of their cars into the final round of qualifying.
Yeah, and we'll be saying goodbye to XRL Young, XRL Torpedo, Jebus John, BTEC Jalabend, and V8 Irons. So, top 10 shootout. Who's your prediction for pole position?
Nah, I don't make predictions for pole position. Things get weird really quickly in this series, and it's not worth making predictions.
Fair enough.
Also, I'm actually I was gonna go off on a weird tangent, but it wouldn't have made any sense, so ignore that.
Fair. We've got a few drivers coming out first. Like, once one goes out, everyone else goes out. It's gonna be...
Ozda wanted to be the first one out again, but this time it just was not meant to be. It's going to be Fletch in the AlphaTauri first onto the track this time.
Yeah. Fletch, followed by Preacher, followed by Asda, and then Fizzy, and then Chubby, and then Mr. Neon.
Well, Fletch already in Sector 3. In fact, as we speak right now, everyone with the exception of Harry is out onto the racetrack right now. So 9 of our 10 cars. And Fletch invalidates. Again, outlap doesn't matter too much. But you don't want to invalidate in the last corner here because that automatically ruins your following lap.
So Fletch, he starts his lap then.
And just behind him on circuit is Ozda, and the gap between the Aston Martin and the AlphaTauri is large enough that I think Ozda shouldn't have to worry about any aerodynamic wake from that car ahead.
Yeah,
the two Mercedes of Franz and Zola looks like they're trying to figure out how to do some DRS shenanigans. They're both right on top of each other on their outlaps right now.
Sector 2 time of 49.8 for Fletch. And in Sector 3 then, around the final few corners.
And Harry, in the final McLaren, is finally making his way out onto the track. Probably timing this pretty well for him because the track will be basically empty when he finally gets his lap started now.
Yeah, it'll be rubber.
So he will have to worry about two Mercedes ahead. Fletch sets the time everyone will be going for.
Yeah,
29.658.
30.0 for Fizzy. Chubby with a 29.8. And Mr. Neon with a 29.8 as well.
Preacher is excessively slow right now.
Yeah,
just really creeping around the circuit. I have to wonder if maybe they went too far with underfeeling that car.
I think Preacher backed out and is going to start again very, very soon. Maybe wasn't happy with his lap time or something, but Pelly round the final corner then.
Zola got a tow from his teammate Franz down the back straightaway, so this could work out well for him if he didn't lose too much time in Sector 1.
Pelly goes first with a 29.6. Zola's actually going really slow, so he's not going to be setting a lap. Franz has invalidated. I think what Zola will be doing is maybe giving his teammate a tow on this main straight at the start of Franz's lap. Or he's going to go for it himself and not bother about that. So 38.8 for Zola, 2 minute 10 lap for Preacher. Amazing.
Ooh, Ozda very nearly clambered into Franz's car. He did not properly judge the speed that Franz was closing at, and Franz totally aborted in turns 1 and 2 in the process.
It's unlucky, but
now Harry, in the middle of a lap, he's about to catch Franz. So that could end up compromising that McLaren's lap as well now.
Maybe, but he'll be getting out the way of him, so it should be alright.
Yeah, but it all depends on where he gets out of the way. You get out of the way, well out of the way on a straightaway, not a problem. You get out of the way in a narrow, tight corner, like a lot of Sector 3's racing lines are, that's going to be a lot more difficult.
Pelly going to set another lap time. It will be.
Nah, he's down by a 1/10 that time. But here comes Preacher with a proper lap after totally laying off the prior circuit. This time, 1:30.343. That's good enough for 6th. Zola's invalidated this lap. The Mercedes cannot seem to keep it together.
So next up will be Harry then. Because Ozda's on an outlet. Harry.
Fletch now coming back out onto the track.
Harry in third.
29.808 for Harry.
Good lap. Asda just started his lap, but he has invalidated. Preacher ran out of fuel in low fuel mode in Sector 2.
Good news for him, though. The next driver that will catch him will be Asda, and Asda doesn't have to worry right now because Asda's on an invalid lap, and then Fletch behind him is on an out lap. Harry is on circuit, but he is backed out, so he's on a cooldown lap right now. So for Preacher, at least, it's not going to have any negative knock-on effects for anybody else by the looks of it, as we now see the Alpine come in. I believe that is Pelly. Yep, Pelly has now come in, I think with a 29.629. Assuming Fletch doesn't really go beans, I think Pelly may have pole locked up.
Not sure. I mean, it's very close, so I think if Fletch can go quicker, he may have it. But then again, Pelly could go quicker still, so we don't know, do we? I mean, there's still some time left. And drivers are starting to come back out now, with Fizzy going back out on track.
Asda now beginning another lap.
Fizzy and Zola out on track.
Looks like Preacher is finally made it into his box. And now I'm seeing another Mercedes. That's probably going to be Franz, who's going to come out into the circuit very shortly here. 22.204 for Asda. That's one of the best Sector 1 times we've seen thus far.
Nice chicane.
At the end of Sector 2, 49.790.
That's his personal best.
Well, also thus far it's his personal only. Final corner for Asda. Nice smooth navigation. Pops up in the DRS, lays on the ERS at the line. It will be a 1:29.637. That's good enough for second.
Only 8 thousandths behind Pelly.
The only problem for Asda, though, there you are. Fletch takes pole, 129. Very nicely done. The only problem for Asda is that he's not going to have enough fuel to go again. And Pelly has had an incident. He's on an outlap, but the car has almost come to a complete stop. All right, he's going now, but something went wrong there. Only problem for Asda, no fuel left. He's not going to get a chance to better that time.
That's him done then. McLaren's looking like they're going to do a bit of a tow.
Zola now getting a lap in.
Fizzy and Harry. Harry needs to move out of the way, and he does so.
Now it's up to Fizzy to not bottle it for the remainder of this lap.
Yeah. A tenth up on his time.
Low fuel light now flashing for that McLaren, but he should still be able to make it to the line. Shelby on an outlap has just gotten caught behind the two Mercedes. He's not going to be happy with that. Fizzy's in a great position right now. Absolutely perfectly clean track around him.
Yeah, let's see what time he can do. Should be alright.
Pops open the DRS, lays on the ERS, and across the line will be a lap time of 1:29.742. That's good enough for fourth.
Well, let's hope Franz or Zola can improve on their time, because El Frizdor in the chat thinks that Franz is going to get pole. Let's find out if he can.
The final corner is Franz. Zola gave him a nice little toe down the back. What can Franz do at the line? The answer is going to be a 29.160 provisional pole in the closing moments. Could this be enough to get Mercedes a pole position today?
Let's see. Harry is on a lap. Also, Pelly's on a lap as well, but he's invalidated. Asda retires from the session. And that is
Neon's
the end
invalidated
of
his lap as well. Zola is now in position to potentially get a toe off of his teammate down the back straightaway. Yes, he's got a great toe off of his teammate. Zola might move up a little bit higher up the grid than we were anticipating.
Oh, and that's Harry invalidating. So he's out of qualifying. Fizzy not on a lap. Neon invalid. So Zola, I think.
Zola's up by over 4 seconds, but again, that's not going to be enough. He's at 38 right now. He needs to find at least 8.5 seconds if he even wants to try and take ninth.
Still time to be made.
Shelby's invalidated his lap, so right now it looks like it's just Zola who's in the middle of a proper run right now.
Yeah, and Mercedes have got pole in X1, and they're going to get pole in X2 unless Zola...
Well, that would still be a Mercedes pole.
Oh yeah, it would, to be fair, wouldn't it? Oh, and he stays in 10th.
Nah.
Chubby has invalidated as well.
Yeah, so with that in mind, session's over. And it is Franz, W31, with the pole position after getting a nice toe from his teammate down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Franz first place, 29.1. Fletch second, 29.5. And then Pelly and Asda very close together, third and fourth. Only 8,000 separating them. Fizzy and Harry, the McLaren drivers, 5th and 6th. Chubby in 7th, Neon 8th. Preacher 9th, Zola 10th. Less than 1.5 seconds separate them. 1st and 10th. Zola's lap was on all tyres apparently, so that's why it was only a 30.5. I'm guessing you were... Zola, I'm guessing you were saving a set of softs for the race then.
Probably.
More about putting Franz on pole apparently. Playing the team game. Always a good game to play that.
Well, it's always a good game to play if you know there's some harmony within that team. If you and your teammate approach the series trying to claw each other's throat out to prove that you're better in that car, yeah, team game's no longer fun to play.
Well, there's confirmation then. Franz W31 on pole position. 0.3 back is Fletch in second place, 29.5. Pelly in third with a 29.629. Azra in fourth with a 29.637. Fizzy is in fifth with 29.7. Harry in sixth with a 29.8. Chubby in seventh with a 29.8 as well. And then another 29.8 from Mr. Neon, who sits in 8th place. Preacher will start in 9th with a 30.3. And finally, XRL Zola in 10th with a 30.5.
And of note, Zola is the only one of this top 10 group that will be starting on a set of soft tires instead of mediums as well. So, and again, those will be scuffed softs because they do have a little bit of wear on them. And the initial first few corners, assuming the track is at a proper temperature, those softs will immediately get up to racing speed. And I imagine for a first lap, Zola is going to get really racy trying to fight with the drivers around him on track.
100%. That'll be the strategy there, trying to make as much of a gap as possible before he has to pit, because they won't last that long, the softs. Probably about 6-7 laps. Could push to 9 if he's careful. But I'm going to go grab a quick drink of Pepsi Max, so I will be back in a moment.
Just to let you know, we are not actually sponsored by Pepsi. And no, before you ask, we are not sponsored by Coca-Cola or cocaine either. We also are not sponsored by Max Verstappen or Max Keeble. Actually, that's a reference so dead, I don't think anyone's going to get it.
Anyway, back in a moment.
Oh, come on, Mika. Don't give in to the stupid F1 circus. You're smarter and better than that. So right now we're just waiting to get underway for the race itself. Real quickly, as we'll show you the grid as it's looking. Zola, the only odd man out right now in the top 14. He's the only one starting on softs. Then Yun in 15th, he's starting on softs. And Foreman starting dead last in the Ferrari. He wants to start on hard tires. So very, very interesting strategy by Yun and Foreman going at this race at 2 with 2 completely different mindsets. And then Zola's kind of in no man's land, stuck on soft rubber. I would not be surprised though if Zola tries to do a soft-hard strategy. But still, it will be interesting to see what he can do. But everyone else starting on soft rubber, everyone in the top 9 has a little bit of wear on their medium tires. The drivers from 11th to 14th will have no wear, fresh mediums for the race. We should be going green relatively shortly here. We should be getting underway shortly here, in about a minute or so.
Just having a look at the tyres. Everyone's starting on mediums apart from Zola, who qualified in 10th on softs, and XRL Young in 15th has chosen softs as well, although that could change if he backs out.
On my screen it says that Tiara Foreman, who is starting 16th, is going to be starting on hards, and that could be interesting as well. Well, we're about to load onto the race itself. Like I normally ask, if you see anything happen near the back of the grid, go ahead, interrupt me, cut me off.
Of course.
Because I'm going to be focusing on the front for the first several sectors of this race.
No worries. Let's hope for a good, clean race.
And now we begin to see the cars load onto the racetrack. 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's lights out, away we go here in France. Right off the bat, France and Fleck having a drag race to the line. There's a lot of movement from the Aston Martin of Ozda behind. They're nearly 4 wide behind. France, Fleck easily line up 1-2. It's a fight between Fizzy and Ozda for 3rd. Neck and neck as they go over the curves. There's a Red Bull way off track further back.
And Torpedo spins out.
Contact between the Alpine and the Ferrari for 5th and 6th position. Here comes the Red Bull, charges in, and that is Irons ran right into the back of Pelly. He's not going to be happy with that. Now Preacher is going to run the Red Bull off circuit. Preacher is trying to move up into 7th. The Red Bull says, I'm not taking that. He runs the the Alfa Romeo off track, and here comes B-Tech Glovin having speed on both of them. Nose to tail for 7th to 9th positions. Now the Honda-powered Red Bull tries to make a move. Contact, and Irons is off.
Preacher spins Irons. Oh dear, oh dear.
That will let Torpedo move back up into 15th now. Zola, horrible start, goes from 10th to 14th right off the bat. But other than that, it looks like
having a
everyone's
look
gotten
on
away
the
without
inside
too
of
much
Fizzy.
issue.
After looking at Fizzy, Fizzy runs in wide a little bit, tiny bit of contact. No damage. Both drivers being aggressive there.
Now into the main straightaway. Ozda right there behind the McLaren, but I don't think he's close enough to make a move unless he really wants to send it hard under braking.
He's got the slipstream, they're side by side.
He's going to send it, but can't commit. Or he tried committing, but the McLaren chopped him right off. Harry, Neon, and Zola all had to pit to repair damage, and Harry electing to throw on hard tires. So I'm guessing Harry's going to bet on a later race yellow to throw on a different set, probably. Now Chubby Spark is there behind Ozda.
All the two Haas drivers. Jalab and Young. Young gets past on the straight.
Yeah, Yun's making hay with those softs right now, although he kind of twitches and throws a bit of momentum away entering
Foreman's got a red X and has cut, his AI has brake checked Torpedo a little bit, and that may be damage.
Ozda now looking to try and get back by Preacher after he made a mistake coming out of the backstretch chicane. He wants to start moving back up. Not been a great start to this race for Ozda, but it's still early. Things could still change. One thing that does not seem to be changing, though, Franz absolutely walking away from the field at a rate of over a second a lap right now. Outstanding what he's doing in that Mercedes.
Yeah, 2.5 ahead, and it's right what Zola said. Oh, can you show me what's on the screen, please? The telemetry.
So what?
The telemetry. Can you show it on the screen? On the stream. Well, Schumacher's going to be happy about that one, man. Oh, there we go. Sorted. Right. The timings are broken. Fletch and Fizzy very close to each other. For second place.
And Chubby is just behind Fletch as well. And now DRS will kick in. So Fletch going to try and overtake Fizzy for the second position using some DRS-ERS combo. The McLaren sliding all over the backstretch to break it, but all it does is just kind of mean that 4 cars play a game of snake on the back straightaway before entering the backstretch chicane.
Yeah, the DRS is very strong there. See that, because he's closed into 2/10, 1/10. He's going for an overtake. Fletch
does not look like he can do it, though.
Yeah, he just backs out a bit.
Yeah, I think that McLaren is just set up a little bit faster in a straight line than the AlphaTauri is at the moment. Now, in the draft, it's not an issue, but when they're both drag racing, the McLaren just pulls a slight bit more.
Yeah, the Tauri looks better in the corners, and the McLaren looks better in the straights. There's a big DRS train now, though.
How long will it last? That's the real question. How well does Fletch get out of this final corner? Not as well as he'd like. 4/10 out, but he has draft, he has DRS, he's laying on the ERS, charging, barreling down on the McLaren. Does he make the move?
No, he does not. Oh, he's made
Oh, and he's around!
He has
right in front of Chubby Spark. That was close.
So Franz still in the lead.
So now...
Fizzy moves up to second. Should be third.
So now that changes it, because it is now Fizzy who is second with Chubby Spark trying to close in. Chubby is just close enough to get DRS and close down the back straightaway. But Fizzy is laying hard on ERS. He wants to use the ERS to break away from Chubby and stay out of DRS range.
Oh, and Jebus John with the run on Jaleben, who does not have DRS. Tries to go around the outside, but can't get it done. And Young has disconnected. And he's back. John just having a look. Striking his braking zone. much better exit. Ooh, should have been braking early there.
At this point in the event, Franz in the Mercedes has opened up a 2.7 second gap on Fizzy. Ozda continues to set fastest laps though, running back there in the 5th position.
Jalabender set
Do I imagine?
for straight line speed. James John cannot close.
Ozda is right there behind Pelly, who is right there behind Chubby Spark. And Chubby Spark is slowly closing the gap on the 2nd place of Fizzy. But all this means is that Ozda's string of fastest laps will probably be broken here, because he's going to have to deal with so much aero wake from the cars ahead in Sector 3 now.
Yeah, Chubby just in the DRS, but you can see how much he's closing on Fizzy. From what was 9 tenths is now 7 tenths.
Boy, Ozda is not letting Pelly get away at all. He is absolutely hounding the rear of that Alpine.
Yeah, just gotta stay close. Hope someone makes a mistake.
But if you stay too close for too long, you're gonna tear those tires apart. Pelly made a mistake. Ozda made a lunge, but did not have the proper line or speed to hold it.
Everyone appears just so
Chubby
close.
has now. Chubby has closed the gap to about 3/4 off of Fizzy now, so the Ferrari is without a doubt using DRS well and closing down on the McLaren. But the McLaren is using just sheer pace and not relying too heavily on the ERS to stay ahead of the Ferrari, so I think he's going to try and drag this fight out as long as he can. Fletch and Javis John fighting for 9th and 10th, and that will go to Fletch's favor.
Yeah, Fizzy is set up for straight line speed here. He's doing just enough to keep Chubby behind him.
Yeah, Fletch a little bit better off on ERS right now than Chubby is.
And
So Chubby's actually...
Sorry.
Yeah, Fizzy's not using ERS down the back straight this time.
Oh.
And Chubby closes to about 1/3 of a second.
Just
But
behind
now
him,
Pelly is there behind him. Yeah, this is going to get really interesting. Here comes Ozda on Pelly.
Hold your line. Nice. And he gets past. Pelly backed out. So Asda up to 4th now. Just behind Chubby.
Pure driver skill overtake. That's exactly what we love to see. No DRS shenanigans, just pure driver ability.
Yeah, that's his karting coming into play there. Lovely overtake.
And now, for Chubby Spark, he's going to be more than a little bit concerned, I imagine, because Ozda is absolutely flying right now.
Once again, Chubby can't get close enough to Fizzy.
The gap between 2nd and 3rd continues to close bit by bit, but I think Ozda kind of doesn't care about that fight unless it involves him gaining more positions right now. He is a man on a mission in that Aston Martin.
I don't know if your thing's broke, but every now and again he keeps saying that Foreman's in 1st place. So that's fun.
I'm not having that problem for whatever reason.
That's good.
Chubby actually shut the DRS a little earlier than normal on the back straightaway that time, and he is now right behind the McLaren. He's going to try and do to the McLaren what Ozda did to the Alpine the lap before. Drag race for 2nd. Nope, Fizzy holds it.
If you can have a good exit on the final corner, you may have a chance. Oh!
Screw that! Ozda says, I don't care, I'm going for 1st.
Ozda's going for it, look.
Side by side throughout nearly the entirety of Sector 2. That's exactly what Fizzy wants to see, because that holds them off and keeps them from being able to fight with him. Yun pitting.
Sorry.
So Yun finally gets off those worn soft tires and will now jump onto a different set, probably hards, to go to the end of this race.
Maybe. He's on soft, so he's doing a 2-stop. Soft, medium.
Yeah, no, soft medium. Might get on another set of softs later on.
Yeah, he started on softs, didn't he? Or did he?
Yeah, he started on those softs.
Yeah,
so now he's on mediums. He's probably betting on one more pit stop before this race is over.
2-stop, soft, medium, soft then. Joey gaining time on Fizzy, but again, Fizzy doing just enough. Asda on the back of them as well. Pelly just keeping in there. Jebus John gets past Jalebend finally. And that is the first time penalty of the race. Fletch with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Asda not as close to the Ferrari this time, so can't get alongside. That let Chubby's closed in a bit more on Fizzy now than he was the prior lap. But my goodness, Asda is so bloody strong in Sector 3. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's sticking to the back of Chubby like glue.
Fizzy, again, not really committing too hard to the ERS. He tried breaking the draft, and Chubby just kind of said, I don't care, I'll just stick to a line, commit to it. Right behind the McLaren's rear wing again, but again, just not able to get by him.
I mean, Fizzy loses time by moving like that, so Chubby just kind of not wanting the slipstream there. Just sticking to his line.
Fizzy, though, is in way better position when it comes to ERS than Chubby is, though, and Chubby is in better ERS position than Asda. Again, the McLaren trying to break the draft, and the Ferrari doesn't really care. He's going to make the move, goes for it. He's got him.
He's done it.
And now here comes Asda in the following sector. Look at him shoot out of the chicane. A little bit of contact, but he's still there. He's committing.
He's going to back out of this one. And he gets past him. Nice overtake.
So now the question is, can Pelly do anything about it?
He seems to have lost a bit of pace now on those medium tyres.
And again, Asda goes right back to twitch by Fizzy. And Asda immediately goes right back to hounding Chubby Spark now.
And without DRS, Asda may have the advantage, but Chubby with a better exit.
Chubby also has more ERS that he can use as a defensive pick.
Unfortunately,
Asda doesn't care.
Asda has way too much pace on with the DRS and moves up into second place. Now it's time for him to hunt down Franz.
But will Chubby let the Aston Martin just walk off like that? That's the question. Again, Chubby a little bit better off on ERS, so he can charge really hard down the straights, and he's going to have DRS and draft on this back straightaway here.
Aston moving around, trying to break the slipstream. Fizzy having another look at Chubby.
Can't commit. And now the sun is starting to come out, so the track surface will start heating up a bit. So it'll be a little bit easier to keep the tires in their proper operating window at this point.
Yeah, lap 10 of 27 here. Currently Franz leading, Asda in second, closely followed by Chubby, Fizzy and Pelly all for fighting for second place. And then a bit of a gap to Preacher, Fletch, Jebus John, Jalebend, Irons. Torpedo actually only a 10th behind V8 Irons, fighting for 10th.
And that's Pelly rushing into the pit lane, so he's been on the back of this train for long enough. He says, look, I'd rather get on a different set of tires. He also may just be responding to the changing track conditions out. The track temp is going to start heating up a bit.
Maybe trying the undercut.
Yeah.
Trying the undercut.
Right.
V8 Irons
right now, though,
well, we had a yellow flag, and that
Chubby
is Chubby
spins! to third position. And that will probably drop him down to about 7th position or so.
He's
well,
in
no, it looks
6th.
like he'll hold on to 5th. Yeah, he's just far enough ahead of Fletch. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, I guess.
Yeah, behind Preacher.
Fletch runs into his rear. He ain't gonna be happy about that. The good news, though, for Ozda means that he doesn't have to worry about defending from behind. Now he can just go mad ham on the pace and try to run down Franz in the Mercedes.
Fletch only a 10th behind, going for it with ERS, DRS. Overtakes Chubby, moves up to 6th position. V8 irons with a 3-second time penalty. Torpedo all over the back of Gillette. Fighting for 8th now.
And there's Foreman, who's on hard tires behind them. And at this point in the race, the hard tires, they don't seem too bad if you've been on them at the same amount of time that the people ahead of you on mediums have been on their tires. So I think for Foreman at least, he'll likely filter into the points-paying positions as this goes on.
Zola trying to get past Foreman, who still has a red X. He must have disconnected or something.
Preacher pitting now out of the 4th position.
And again.
Fletch. Penalty for speeding entering the pit lane. That's just really going to derail his race at this point.
So V8 irons, Harry and Mr. Neon fighting for 12th here. And you've also got a few other fights going on the track as well.
Torpedo has a run on B-Tech Jalebin, side by side. But the Williams is not willing to commit, and the Ferrari of Foreman nearly runs into the back of Torpedo because of it.
Yeah, but I think Foreman's disconnected, so that's his AI. Doing that. And V8 irons gets past Harry for 13th place.
Real quickly, as I'm looking through the entire grid, everyone is good on fuel with the exception of XRL Preacher and V8 Irons. So those two still need to save fuel to the end of this event if we stay green flag like this to the end.
Still time yet for them. Lap 12. Looking unlikely now, though, that the field has spread out a little bit.
Jabez John is just within DRS striking zone of Chubby Spark, who is currently running 4th, trying to recover from a spin earlier.
Young and Fletch just close to each other.
Fletch looks to the outside, won't commit, but he has a better run. And the Haas ahead just denies. Ozda, Fizzy, Jabez John all paying at the same time. This is going to be bad for Jabez John, actually, because his teammate is going to be in the pit lane when Jabez pulls up. So this is going to hurt John because they're trying to double stack in the Aston Martin camp.
Double stack won't work in Jabez John's favour.
Oh no, Ozda's already completed his stop. Never mind. So the gap was good enough. They timed it well. So neither of them are actually hurt. I should have more confidence, I guess, in them. Well, now Shelby goes back up into 2nd, but he's 14 seconds out first rather than just 4 seconds out where he was before the spin. As Franz continues to just kind of walk off.
V8 irons with the fastest lap, 33.1. Yellow flag for a Haas.
Yun.
Yeah.
Now dropping back to the 14th position now.
Harry with
Torpedo trying to get by Jalebin down the back straightaway.
Goes to the inside of Pelly, overtakes him back into 5th place. Next up for him is Torpedo and Jalebin, who have yet to pit.
On my screen it shows that Foreman's not pitted yet, so he's in 5th.
Yeah, Foreman is not in 5th, he's in 15th.
Your race leader, Franz, is now in pit lane.
It's a great battle, actually, between Jalebin and Torpedo. Torpedo's still only a few tenths behind. Late call from Jalebin to go into the pits.
And now Chubby Spark will inherit the race lead.
Torpedo will move up into 2nd, Asda will move up into 3rd.
Nah, Torpedo's not going to get by Franz. Franz will just barely hold on to 2nd position. Ozda powering by Foreman's machine right now.
Oh, have we been
So
decent?
Ozda now into 4th.
Ozda's wrong now. Right. I'm going to leave and rejoin them.
Down the back straightaway, Ozda with the run on Torpedo. Inside, outside, he's gonna make an inside move. He's got the car ahead. When they go into the chicane, Torpedo tries to fight him and bully him. They made a little bit of contact in the braking. Ozda does not care. He shoots out of it like a cannon. And he's only 1.6 seconds out from Franz, the man he's fighting. The thing, though, is that Franz is on tires that'll take him to the end. Ozda will have to pit one more time before the race is over. Yellow flag, that's James Gunn, who has spun on the backstretch chicane. He is back underway now, but back in 12th, it's not looking great for the second Aston Martin driver at the moment. Torpedo, Foreman, Pelly, 4th, 5th, and 6th right now. Foreman has the run. Yeah, Shelby's just pitted, so this will drop him back down the order a bit.
Foreman's back in the game. Oh, contact between Torpedo and Foreman.
Torpedo's... Yeah, Torpedo run right off circuit. That's going to drop him well down the order, back to about 6th, 7th position.
So Franz on the hards, then going to the end of the race. Asda still has to pit, I believe.
Yeah, Ozda's going to have to make one more pit late in the event because he's been gone medium. But I think Ozda doesn't care. He's trying to just set down blistering laps and forcefully overtake Franz on track with just a bunch of blistering laps.
Pelly
side by side with Foreman. He's by him.
Yeah, got past pretty nicely.
Ozda, at this rate he's going to be within DRS range of Franz shortly. The counterpoint to that, though, is that Franz has plenty of ERS. Ozda is almost totally out of ERS.
Gila Ben trying to get past Jebus John. Side by side him, braking. Gila Ben gets past. Just.
And a good exit out of the backstretch chicane means that he'll
V8
hold on to that
irons
spot for a little bit.
Carry through, not sure why.
My goodness, Ozda. Just in that 3rd sector alone, he's closed by 1/5 of a second. So without a doubt, Ozda, the fastest man on track right now. But he is trying to outrun what's basically going to be a whole extra stop in this race.
Yeah, there's a bit of the fastest lap as well. Problem is everyone around him, 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Oh, and that's V8 irons out the session.
Irons!
Retiring in the pit. Or not. Did he die in the pits or did he retire?
No, it looks like he's retired in the pit lane.
Oh yeah, his car's moving now, I think. Yeah, he's retired in the pits, unfortunately. That'll be a qualifying ban for him next week.
Fizzy leapfrogs Foreman, so Foreman on those tires is giving him a lot of track position, but now he's struggling with just no pace compared to anyone else, and he's gradually hemorrhaging all those spots he gained.
15 laps on the hards, maybe time to go on to medium because they will go to the end.
Ozda. God, my goodness, I cannot believe what this kid's doing right now. Again, I think Franz has this race win in the bag because he's going to have to make a whole stop less than Ozda, but Ozda has just destroyed the gap that Franz had over him right now.
He needs to get past and make a bit of a gap before he has to pit again.
How aggressively does Franz defend the lead against Ozda?
Doesn't
Well, he doesn't have to defend too hard yet. Ozda seems to make up most of his speed in sectors 1 and 3.
Young's gone round again, down in 13th.
Ozda's starting to turn the tides when it comes to the ERS as well. Franz is burning through a lot more than I think he was wanting to, trying to keep that Aston Martin behind.
Wouldn't fight too
Gap
much.
opens up a bit. Gap's opened up a bit in Franz's favor. Ozda barreling down the straight, trying to close in. He's not going to be side-by-side in the braking zone this time. But Franz is so paranoid about Ozda doing something to him that he's laying on the ERS super frequently now. And as these two are fighting, they're still pulling away from the rest of the grid.
Yeah, oh, and that is Fletch getting past Torpedo for 7th place. Torpedo gonna have an nah, he backs it.
Oh, Ozda's around!
Ah, no, Asda spins.
Doesn't hit anything, but this is going to drop him well down the order to 4th position. And with that, it's basically over for Ozda. Franz is going to be your default winner unless Peli can pull something off here. I mean, I say that, but I also said that about you earlier today in X3. And while you did win that race, it was definitely not looking like it was going to be your win near the end there.
Well, sometimes you got to get lucky, and maybe Franz has just had that little bit of luck. Currently, the gap is 5.8 seconds. Nothing really to worry about now for him.
Ooh, Foreman. I'm guessing he's disconnecting or lagging or something, but it is causing havoc on my screen as I'm following him.
Yeah, that seems to be a little bit of lag. Keeps disconnecting and reconnecting, so...
Also of note, Preacher still in the yellow when it comes to fuel, so there's still a risk that he will not make it to race in on fuel that he currently has. Ozda's already caught Fizzy again, and Yun just got a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, as he's going to go a lap down now to Franz. I would not be surprised if we see Yun retire in the pits here. Preacher now by Foreman. Foreman still has to make a stop because he is on the same set of hard tires he started this race on. Ozda on Fizzy for 3rd. Easy overtake, but Ozda has gone so hard for so long that I'm starting to see the fuel light flashing on that car every now and again. Again, This looks like it will be an easy win for Franz because he is far enough ahead of everyone else that even if he starts having to deal with fuel issues, he can start kind of letting back and letting the gap close. He has a 6-second gap over Peli. He can just manage that to race in at this point.
He can just chill out for a bit and race a little bit and just drive like it's a time trial. Fizzy all over the back of Asda.
But can't get by him. Now Fizzy has actually gotten to a point where he is now worried about making it to the end on fuel. So now we're at the point that fuel could become a big issue in this event.
Yeah, without a safety car.
We've not even had a virtual safety car either. It's
we haven't had anything
really
yet.
gotten weird. In fact, all the incidents we've had have just been spins and then a few winglets getting knocked off on the first lap. That's basically been it. It's been a really clean race, all things considered.
It's been decent, hasn't it?
Yeah. Foreman now coming in a pit, so he will finally get off those old hards. He'll probably throw on a set of softs to the end. There are only 8 laps to go. Might as well throw on some softs and go blitz to the end of the race.
Yeah, might as well. And where will he come out then? He should, come out behind.
He's going to be in, 11th, it looks like. He will also be behind the lapped car of Yun as well.
Yeah, 11th place then for Foreman.
Ozda, though, bad news for Ozda. He is now in a bad scenario. He is in a must-save area for Fuel. Same with Fizzy, who is in 4th right now. Same with Preacher, who is in 5th, but Preacher's been in this position for a long time. Fletch in 6th does not have to worry about Fuel, at least not right now. Neither does Chubby Spark, who is in 7th, or Torpedo in 8th, nor Yelevin in 9th, or Davis John in 10th. Foreman seems to have finally taken care of his fuel issues, because the game says that he is now good on fuel to the end. Harry in 12th is good on fuel. Neon 13th good on fuel. So is Zola, who is pitting in 14th, and last place Yun also good. So a lot of drivers from about 3rd to 5th in a high-risk position when it comes to their fuel mileage. That could really upset how this race finishes.
Definitely, and there's Asda into the pits. Softs to the end. He'll have blistering pace. It's fastest lap after fastest lap coming up, I guess. Franz on hards. 6.2, just managing the gap.
Azza will be throwing on soft tires, so he'll be faster than anyone else through the corners. But again, he's still going to have to worry about saving and conserving fuel. Torpedo also off the medium tires that he started this race on. Well, not started the race on, but he's been on since being involved in instants early on.
Yeah,
he'll probably jump onto a set of softs as well.
Yeah, but he got a 5-second time penalty in the process. Yellow flag. Young.
Sector 3, Yun.
From the session. That should really be a safety car. I don't think it's going to be,
no word
though.
on getting a safety car yet, no. And it was like what we saw earlier, multi-car accident in the X3 race, not even a little yellow, it was just weird.
Asda now with 3 seconds, came out in 7th place, but with a 15-second gap, it's going to be a way. He's got a way to catch for 6th place Chubby.
And again, Azza also has to be careful when it comes to fuel as well. But Azza's going to have more pace than anyone else on track right now. Foreman now gets a time penalty back there in 9th as well.
Matrix in the chat saying, come on Asda, keep it together. That was posted a while ago though, just after his fun. Fletch only 6/10 behind Preacher.
And unlike Preacher, Fletch is not all that concerned about fuel mileage to the end at the moment. They're on the same tires, but Fletch has the advantage of DRS on the straights.
Lap 22 of 27.
And we've had no yellow flags today.
We've had a couple of yellow flags. No VS. We had a yellow flag just now when Young DNF, but
yeah, but no no safety cars and no VSCs either. That's what I mean.
Yeah, no safety cars, no virtual safety cars. So far, it's looking unlikely that we're going to have a safety car now as well, especially since we're on lap 22. Chubby with a 3-second time penalty.
Looks like it's going to be a tremendous day for Franz, leading almost every lap. The only laps he's not led have been under green flag pit stops. So fantastic. Looks like it'll be a flag-to-flag win for Franz unless something goes wrong in these closing laps. And even at that, he has nearly 6.5 seconds over Pelly, who is on worse tires anyway. As long as Franz doesn't totally spin off circuit, I think that Mercedes has it wrapped up by default.
Yeah, definitely. He is so far ahead that it's going to be tricky, unless someone's on softs in second place and only 6 seconds behind, you know. Oh, Fletch having a look at Preacher. Oh, not sure why he didn't go to the inside there. Maybe having a bit of patience.
I think he's not very comfortable with the pure straight line speed in that AlphaTauri, and he might just be trying to get Chubby Spark, not Chubby Spark, to get Preacher to run his fuel out. Again, Preacher, one of the guys struggling on fuel right now. Fizzy in 3rd, they are saying that he's still iffy on fuel right now. Preacher is the one who's really in the hot seat when it comes to fuel.
Yeah, if drivers start running out of fuel, then that opens it up a little bit for other drivers to get in and score some points. Oh, they're side by side now. Preacher and contact between Preacher and Fletch, but Fletch gets past and so does Chubby as well. So Preacher goes down to 6th place. Having another look at Chubby though, trying to get back past him on the outside. Preacher gets
Ferrari
a 3-second
has
time
position.
penalty for his trouble.
Yeah, the Ferrari had the preferred lane, and there wasn't really much that Preacher could do. And now Preacher in a frustrating position because he now has to chase while also somehow managing fuel. I do not envy his position right now. All that also let Chubby close into Fletch, so now Chubby can start trying to use some DRS and ERS combo on Fletch ahead of him. Fletch breaks the draft.
Doesn't have
Chubby
DRS.
actually shut down.
Yeah.
Well, no, Chubby had DRS open, but he shut it down really early on down the backstretch. So he obviously was not trying to get alongside the AlphaTauri going into turn 1 that time.
Still plenty of time left in the race. Should have a quick goosey at the time penalties. Now, he doesn't need to overtake. Doesn't really need to overtake Fletch because Fletch had 11 seconds of penalties, whereas Chubby only has 3. So this is a better opportunity for him, though.
Fletch really not putting up too much of a defense. He'll let the Ferrari pass.
Doesn't need.
Also, Chubby has tires are about 3 laps fresher than what Fletch has right now.
Yeah,
so actually, Chubby has the freshest tires of everyone in the top 6 at that.
I mean, Fletch is probably going to drop down to 6th place, maybe even 7th if Asda can catch it.
The crazy part is going to be Preacher because Preacher there is still hanging out in 6th, and he's just trying to use DRS to help drag him to the end because his fuel numbers are not looking good still.
Yeah. Time will tell whether he can make it, but I mean, without a safety car, there's not much really that they can do other than hope. Maybe try and save fuel where they can on the corners.
Fletch has DRS on Chubby down the front straightaway, and he'll use it to close in a bit. But here's the interesting thing. Chubby is barreling down on Fizzy for 3rd. Fizzy, one of the other drivers, still iffy on fuel to the end of this race, so this could get interesting. But Fletch is not letting that Ferrari go yet. Harry now coming into the pit, so something must have gone wrong because those mediums should have lasted him to the end of the race, but he is barely
for fastest lap,
dishing
probably
into the pits. That'd be an interesting strategy. Let's see how it plays out.
Preacher and Fletch still on the back of Chubby, but I don't think Fletch is going to really fight it too much.
I think it's more likely that Chubby's going to get up to Fizzy and use Fizzy as a pick between himself and that AlphaTauri of Fletch.
Yeah,
because Chubby is nice and consistent all around the track compared to Fizzy.
Yeah, but Fletch has too many time penalties to really. Even if he gets past, he'll lose the position anyway. So there's no point in overtaking.
You don't know. You can overtake or try to squeeze the guy ahead into making a bunch of mistakes and earning more time penalties.
Yeah, but if we look behind, Preacher's got 6 seconds, Asda Foreman only 3 seconds. James John Torpedo 5 seconds each, so.
Yeah, but Oz's still 9 seconds out of this fight. It seems like Ozza was a bit better on the mediums than the softs.
Saying that though, Fletch might have 5 seconds to be taken, so we never know yet.
Well, Chubby has most definitely caught Fizzy this time around.
Yes, he has. We'll have DRS. They've both got the same amount of DRS.
And Fizzy still really, really iffy on fuel right now. At the front, Franz still has Fletch, another time penalty is not going to help him. Franz has nearly a 6.5 second gap on Pelly at the front of the grid right now. And Pelly is nearly 9 seconds up from Fizzy, so it looks like first and second are locked in their positions. The fight is for third. And the fight is if Fizzy can even make it to the end of this race as well.
Yeah, exactly. Chubby all over the back of Fizzy.
and that's Fletcher around behind. All by himself, spins in Sector 3. That drops him back to 6 behind Preacher. And now here comes Ozza with speed on him. But Ozza's still trying to nurse his fuel to the end as well. This is great news for Chubby, though, because now he has no pressure from behind. He just needs to try and overtake Fizzy. White flag is in the air for Chubby. He's going to get one more good shot to overtake the McLaren. That will be on the back straightaway.
Final lap then. Franz has this race in the bag unless something goes terribly wrong, which hopefully it doesn't. So Franz in first, Kelly in second.
Also a fight for a last points-paying position. James John has 9th, Torpedo right behind him in 10th. He's got DRS, Lane on DRS, side by side down the front straightaway. Torpedo takes the position. John is nearly out of fuel. I don't know if John's gonna make it to the line or not.
0.7 laps of fuel left in his car. Chubby, oh, he's going for a move on Fizzy then, side by side. Just can't get it done, and that was, I think, maybe his last chance to get the position.
And they're both rough on fuel. Chubby is now iffy on fuel. At the front, Franz isn't low on fuel as well, but he has a 6.7 second gap. I think he'll be able to coast to the line, but nearly everyone is out of fuel at this point.
He's going for... he's hit the back of Fizzy. Chubby has hit the back of Fizzy. I'm not sure whether that was... I don't think it was a brake check, but it looked different.
Out of the final corner, here comes Franz across the line. He will take home the victory here. Pelly coming to the line now. He will come home second.
And is that Preacher ran out of fuel? Preacher has run out of fuel.
Yes, he has. Fizzy takes third. Chubby Spark takes fourth. Fletch should still be able to creep by into fifth, but Ozza will likely jump him on time penalties. No, Ozda's out. Ozda's totally out of fuel.
And Jevis John's out of fuel as well.
Preacher will cross 6th. Fletch goes all the way down to 7th. Here's Foreman. He'll cross in 8th. Torpedo will get 9th. Torpedo's the only guy in the top 2 who seem to be good on fuel. James John creeping. Will he make it to the line? Yes, he'll barely make it to the line.
And he comes home in 10th. Jaleb End. Harry all over the back of him.
Doesn't matter. Jalebin will hold it.
Jalebin holds it. Harry gets the fastest lap on the last lap of the race. And finally Mr. Neon. Wow.
That was definitely an interesting and relatively quick race as well. The game gives driver of the day a TIR Foreman. Yeah, I can understand that.
And there is Franz on the podium giving away copies of this game to his adoring fans.
That seems like kind of an insult, frankly. This game's not that good. Trying to get Franz in here real quickly to see if he's willing to say anything about his fantastic win here. Yeah, in the end, Mercedes, Alpine, McLaren, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri. So the top 7 drivers all in 7 different cars. Coming to the party right now is Franz31. Franz, go ahead, include your audio. Fantastic drive from pole to victory. Did you feel threatened at any point in this race?
Hey guys, thanks first of all. No, I don't think I felt threatened. I saw I had the pace at a stage as that was behind me, but I knew I had to stop again. So even if he passed me, I wasn't too worried. Maybe just a late safety car could have changed a few things, but I think I just had good pace.
Good pace indeed, taking home not only the pole but also the race win. Also, I think, you missed out on fastest lap out of the top 10, so not quite a maximum points day, but outstanding run for you, mate.
Awesome, thanks, mate.
Well, that's the word from Franz W31. Obviously, if I asked you, you're going to be biased. You're going to say you preferred the X3 race because you won that. But frankly, both X2 and X3 put on some relatively good races at France, which typically has been kind of a boring track in XRL. So really nice surprise to see a good show put on this weekend by the guys.
Definitely. Today it was a very exciting race. Well done, Franz, by the way. That was a dominant performance.
Thanks, mate.
From pole position all the way to the end of the race, there was nothing really stopping you today. But like, there were some amazing battles and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, great racing, mostly.
Well, next week, XRL will be back as the series will be taking to the track at Silverstone in Great Britain. On this channel, you'll have Kinsey Retro covering the X1 series at 5 p.m. UK time on Sunday, while I'll be covering X3 on the alternate channel at the exact same time. And then, per usual, X2 will be held at 8 p.m. UK time on this channel next Sunday, and that also will be at Silverstone. Until next time, though, I've been your host for today's broadcast, Insane Leader 13. I've been joined by XRL Jigsaw. I want to say thank you very much for being willing to jump in and watch us, and goodbye, everyone.